Hello, welcome to the Pinky Ink Spot page if you're viewing this from Facebook, or the Woodland Stamper channel if you're viewing it from YouTube. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I love to show you Stampin' Up! Products and how you can use them. I love using them and making crafts with them, and I've been doing this for years. So I'm going to point you down and we're going to get started with a card I made, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Alright? Okay, we're going to get started. We're going to feature the Berry Blessing stamp set and the Berry Delightful Designer Series paper. And I just want to point out that they are in the Sale-A-Bration Brochure. And remember, this is a brochure where you can pick out free product when you order Stampin' Up! Products from the mini catalog and the regular catalog. Now, it's only good until February 28th, so we have just over a week left, I believe. Nope. We have just over 2 weeks left, almost 2 weeks. So don't delay, because time will run out before you know it. So the products I'm featuring today are on page 14 of the Sale-A-Bration Brochure. Let's see if I could bring that in a little closer. There we go. And focus it. Okay, so it's the Berry Blessing stamp set and the Berry Delightful Designer Series paper. And it is free with a $100 product order. And the stamp set includes 13 stamps. And the Designer Series paper is 12 sheets of 12 by 12 inch paper. So there are 6 different designs, and they're two-sided, so you're actually getting 12 designs. Okay, and you get 2 of each sheet. So let's get started. I'm going to show you the stamp set right here. Let me focus out just a little so you can see that. So the words you have in here are wishing you the very best, bountiful blessings, you always have a way of making my day. And then you have blueberries, you have raspberries, the leaves, the toppers for the raspberries and the blueberries. Or actually, they're just for the raspberries, I think. And then you have the leaves for the raspberries. And these are the leaves for the blueberries, I believe. Okay, in your Designer Series paper, I'm going to bring it in one sheet at a time. So this one I've already cut off, so you get 2 sides. Isn't that gorgeous? Here's the second one. The strawberries. I think I have it upside down. There you go. And the raspberries. And the nice plaid pattern on that side. And then another sheet of strawberries. And there is a sweet in the main catalog. I'll try and find that for you. It coordinates with this paper. Isn't that beautiful? I just love the colors. And who doesn't need something like this with the weather hitting our country today in this week? Big snowstorms across the whole country. So let's do some playing and take a little break from all that. Okay, so I'm going to bring in this catalog again, and let's see, let's go back to that paper. And I think it's going to tell us what it coordinates with. It coordinates with the Sweet Strawberry bundle. Okay, and it's on page 44 of the mini catalog. Let's go to that page and see. I don't have this yet, but it is one I do plan on getting. So right here, let's see if I could get that in the camera. This is the Sweet Strawberry stamp set, And then there's a punch that goes with it, the Strawberry Builder Punch. And if you buy them together, you can get the bundle price, which is $32.25. Now, if you ordered that, you would only need about $12 more, and you would get that free, well, you would get to pick a free product from the Sale-A-Bration Brochure at the $50 level. But if you want the product, the Berry Blessings, you have to reach $100. But that's easily done when you take a look at these catalogs and you see everything that is in it. You could order cardstock, dimensionals, the liquid glue, many things. But I wanted to point out that this punch, I believe, also punches out the strawberries in the paper. So that's kind of neat. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to bring in our card kit. So this is the card we're going to put together today. And here's the envelope. And it's a neat little cut. I enjoyed making it. So this is what we're going to start out with. We've got our piece of, let me see what I used. I believe this is the garden green, yeah. And I cut it at 11 inches going this way and 4 1/4 going this way. So I'm going to bring my, my cutter in. And this is the older cutter. There is a new version now that's Stampin' Up! Made. So you get 2 blades on your cutter. You get a scoring blade and a cutting blade. So I want to score this at 4 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to put it right there. Nope, I'm doing it on the 11-inch side. So half of 11 is 5 1/2. I almost made a mistake there because I usually cut my cards the other way. So this is called like the hot dog style. So at 5 1/2, I'm going to score my card. Okay, and I'm going to set that aside. And I've got my bone folder. And you always want to fold in toward the little mountain. The valley part you want to fold away from. So I'm going to fold that in half, line up the corners, and give it a good crease, okay? Now I'm going to bring my cutter back in because we do something fun here. We're going to cut, let's say, so your card is going to go this way, so it opens up on the bottom. So on the front bottom, I'm going to measure up 1 3/4 inches, and I want to bring my cutting blade up here. So I'm going to put this at 1 3/4 inches, right about there. Hold it down and cut. So this is going to be scrap now. So put that over there, and I'll put my cutter back over here. So here I have my card. Now let's take a look at our other pieces. Now remember, I've been saying that I like to cut my designer series paper at 4 inches by 6 inches, because then you can get 6 pieces out of a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So I've got my 4 by 6 here, and I cut it so it would work on the hot dog style card opening like this. Because you wouldn't want to do it that way. It would actually be sideways. So you'd want to cut your 6-inch on that 12 by 12 paper going the other way. But I cut it this way so I can use it here. So what I'm going to do with this, I need a piece to go on the bottom, and I'm looking at my notes to see what I did. So I need a piece of 3 1/2 by 4. Let me see where that's gonna go. 3 1/2. That's gonna go on the top. So I'm just gonna cut my 2 pieces right now. So I'm going to take my designer series paper, and the bigger one is going to be the piece that goes on the top. So we'll take that. So I'm going to measure this at 3 1/2. And I have to get over here so I can see it. Okay. So I'm at 3 1/2. And I know this is 4 inches because I also have a ruler over here. So that's good. So I have that. And then my other piece I need is 2x4. So now I need a piece that is 2 inches. So I'm going to just move it over to the 2-inch mark and line that up. There we go. And so this is my only scrap right here. And I'm going to save that. You can always use it for something else. Okay. So I'm going to put that there. So I have those pieces. This is going to be my top piece. And let me see which way it's going now. There we go. You want it right side up. This is going to go on the bottom here. And I want the leaves kind of going upward. Then what else do I have in my kit? I have a piece of basic white cardstock. And this is 4 inches by 3 1/4. 3 1/4, so 4 inches by 3 1/4, and I cut an extra one just in case. I also have 4 pieces cut with the stitched dies. I'm going to get those out for you. So these are the stitched shapes dies, and they have 4 sizes of the squares, 4 sizes of the ovals, and 4 sizes of the circles. So I used this one right here, the second to the largest. So I'm just going to measure that. So I just ran 2 pieces of white cardstock through the cutter, and I also got some pieces, scrap pieces of garden green, and ran 2 through. Now I only need 1 of each, so these are extra just in case I make a mistake. So I'm going to put the dies away here. So we got all our pieces out, and I also made a bow out of our white baker's twine, okay? And I made a double bow. So let's get started on this. Let's adhere some stuff down. First we're going to put down, I'm going to bring in the sample card I made right there. So we're going to adhere this down right here. So I'm going to get my liquid glue, and I'll be right back. I forgot a piece of scrap paper. So I do want to grab it. Okay. Got it right here. So I'm going to put, whoops, I probably should do this in the camera, right? Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to put some liquid glue down here. This is really a fun card to make. And it's so nice because you get this free when you order $100 worth. So I'm going to layer it right here. Now remember, I want to leave a little border all the way around it. I want that a little bit lower. I'm going to adjust that, and I think that's good right there. Okay, give it a good press down. This actually could go a little bit over to the side, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, now I have my other piece, and I'm going to flip it over, okay, because I want that showing. And I'm going to layer that down, so I need my liquid glue again. And I'm going to just put some glue on right here. I like working with this liquid glue. It allows you time to readjust whatever you're adhering down. And I want the leaves going upward. So we're going to layer that right there. And I know I did the top a little to the left, so I'm going to do that the same way. That looks good. So I'm going to give that a good press. I can feel I'm getting a little sticky. That's one of the things when you work with the liquid glue. I tend to end up getting it on my fingers a little bit, but I'm not doing too badly. I've been getting better and better at that. Okay, and then this white piece is going to go right in here, and it's going to be butt up right against that designer series paper. But I'm going to stamp that a little bit because I'll show you what the inside of that looks like. Okay, so let's get started with our stamping. I need my white piece of cardstock. So I used the Shaded Spruce. Now, I'm going to tell you the colors in that designer series paper. If you flip over your pack of paper, on the back it'll tell you the colors that are used in this paper. And they list Balmy Blue, Blackberry Bliss, Calypso Coral, Cherry Cobbler, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, Poppy Parade, Rich Razzleberry, Shaded Spruce, and Basic Whisper White in this case. But we've gone to the basic white. So for the words, I made my words in Shaded Spruce, and then I stamped the leaves and the raspberry. Well, the leaves I stamped in Garden Green, okay, because my cardstock here is in Garden Green. So I'm going to grab my stamp, and we're going to do the words. And I actually said, wishing you the very best. So I'll peel that off. And I just have a generic block right here for now. And I'm going to actually put them on the diagonal. Yeah, because then they'll fit. Okay, now if I mess up this stamping, it doesn't matter because I have another one all ready to go. So I'm going to ink that up, give it a huff, and then I'm going to stamp this right in the center, right about there. Give it a good press. Oh, you know what? I did bring my piercing mat over, but I forgot to put it under. So we'll just give it a good press and hope for the best. That came out very good. Okay, I'm going to clean this off real fast. And I just use, we sell the chamois to clean it off, but I use just a little water on a paper towel and it cleans off really nice. Okay, so I'm going to put that away. That right there. Now I'm going to shut this up because I'm done with that. Now I'm going to bring in my Garden Green, and I'm going to stamp the leaves. So get that out, and my block, I'm just going to mount it right here. Oops, there we go. And this is my older style ink pad, the Garden Green. So I'm going to ink that up. Bring in my scrap paper right here, and this is going to be stamped. Give it a huff to moisten that ink, and stamp it right there. Okay, that looks great. Okay, now I'm going to get the insert in my card, and I actually did the leaves up here too. So while I have this out, I'm going to stamp them right there. Give it a good press. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to close up this ink pad. I think I'm done right now, but I'll leave it right there because I might need it again. Okay, I'm going to clean this off. I love that these photopolymer stamps. They're so nice to stamp up, and you can switch them off the blocks. So you really only need one block to work with. Okay, now I'm going to get my berry, my raspberry. Oh, don't you wish you can have some raspberries now? Okay, and the raspberry I actually did in Poppy Parade because that is the color in the paper. So I'm taking this, going to ink it up, and now I'm going to bring my scrap paper back in, and I'm going to put my berry right to the side here. That came out pretty good. And then on the inside, I'm going to get my inside piece right here, and I'm going to stamp my berry right there. I hold and press for several seconds. Okay, I'm going to close that up. Now, I need my scrap paper because I usually stamp off the extra ink there, and then I will wipe it off with my wet paper towel. And that's good. Okay, I do want to show you the darker inks, or the reds. They will stain your stamp, but it is clean. As you could see, nothing is coming off, and it works just fine. So it just stains with a little bit of color, but you don't have to worry about that at all. Okay, so now in this stamp set, I'm going to start to put some of these stamps back. So they do have a black outline on the plastic here, so you can see where to line up your stamps to put them away, so you know if you have them all or not. Because you could, you know, if you don't put them back on the sheet here, you might misplace a stamp or two. So now I'm going to get the little stem, and we're going to stamp that, okay? So I've got that, and actually I'll show you a little trick. I have some masking tape or painter's tape here. I'm going to cover up my stem right there because I don't want it inked up very long. So I've got my scrap paper here, and this one, well, do I have to do it here? Let me see how that would look. I could do it there, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my garden green again and open that up. And I'm going to ink it up. Now, just take this tape off carefully. I'm just going to leave it there because I'm going to use it again, okay? Just put it right there. Now this, I just stamped off once, and then I'm going to put it directly on. That doesn't look bad. Was this the one I used? Let me see. You know what? For my other card, I used the one that was more solid. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to clean this off. That's not the one I wanted, but no worries. We can fix that. Okay, so I'm bringing my stamps back in. I'm going to put this one back on the sheet. And it's this one right here, the solid shape I want to take out. So they do have an outline and a solid one. So I'm using the solid one. Again, I'm going to take that painter's tape or masking tape, and I'm going to put it right there. Give it a good push so it stays on. Okay, and wipe my fingers off just in case I got ink on it. Now I'm going to stamp up, take that off, just press it down a little. Now I'm going to line this up here and go over what I had there. Good, that's good, I like it. Okay, so now I've got to put my tape back on the stem because I don't want all that stem inked up. Ink it up, and we're going to bring this in, take the masking tape off again, and we are going to put this one, remember, just stamp off a little bit, and let's put it right there. There, that came out good. Okay, now this I'm carefully going to throw out, that little masking tape, because we don't need it anymore. Close up my ink pad, and I'm going to clean this up. Wipe it off with a dry paper towel. There, and we're all good to go there. Okay, let's get rid of my scrap paper right now. So now I'm going to bring it back in, actually. My Wink of Stella, it's here. I just have to see where it is. Okay, we also sell Wink of Stella, and it's got glitter on it. And I want to show you what happens. And all you do is give it a little squeeze right here, and that'll make some come out. But if you brush this over your leaf, look at what's happening. It's spreading that ink a little bit. So now I'm getting a beautiful little fill-in of green on the leaf. Plus, it's laying down glitter. So it's really neat to use. And I'm going to wipe that off a little bit. Now I'm going to go over my berry. And look what it's doing to the berry. It's filling in with that light Poppy Parade color. Isn't that pretty? Okay, I'm going to wipe it off again to clean it. And then I'm going to go to my inside piece and do the same thing with the green. Just spread it around, paint it on. Give it a little squeeze so I get some more down there. There we go. I like that. Okay, then I'm going to clean that off, and then I'm going to fill in the red, the Poppy Parade. Isn't that pretty? Okay, clean it off by brushing it, and then put the cap back on. Now I'm going to bring this in close, and I'm going to see if you could see it. Okay, do you see the glitter on it? I don't know if you can. And this dries immediately. Oh, look, you can see it there. Do you see it on the leaf and on the raspberry? Let's see if I could show you that. No, I can't get it in there. Okay, but trust me, it's there. Okay, get rid of our scrap paper. And we're all set here. So now I'm going to just, and look, this is all dry, so I can touch it. So I'm going to back this out just a little. Focus it, and it's still taping. Okay, now I'm going to put some glue on this. Okay, my glue back there. Flip this over. Now this I'm going to line up right with the designer series paper here. And then I'm going to give it a push down, okay? Make sure that's dry. Yep. Okay, then on the front, this is going to go right here. And what I used were dimensionals, but I'm wondering, do I want to put it down flat because it's easier to mail when it's flat, but it will have this little bump here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the dimensionals on. So I'm just going to put it on the top part here. Oh, before I do that, look at what I almost forgot. I wanted to back it with this piece. So now, let me bring my cutter back in, because I'm going to show you how that gets put on. So, okay, so now I'm going to take my oval, the garden green one, and I'm going to show you what I did so I can back it behind my word oval. So instead of cutting it straight across, here's the front of it, I cut it a little bit on a diagonal. So I'm going to put that in like that, hold it down, give it a good cut. Now I can take this away, and then you'll see this is the whole oval. But when I layer it, this is how it's going to look. And that's why I like to cut it on the diagonal. Let's see if I could get it there. Okay, so we're going to have a little there, and then that piece is going to go right like this. See, so I get that frame around most of it that way. So let's get it glued down. So remember, you want to put the glue or your adhesive toward the center of that cut, where I cut it. Because if you go too close to the edge, then your glue's going to be showing. Okay, so I want to just give it a little bit of a border. Give it a good press. And now I'm going to put some glue down here. And I'm going to put it on top of this. And I could move it around because I'm using my liquid glue, so that's really nice. And give it a press right there. All right. And my camera did cut out, so good thing I had an extra piece I could show you how to do that. So what I did was then I put 3 dimensionals there, and I popped it up on top of the card. Because you want your dimensionals on the top part, because this has to be free to open and close. Then I put a little glue dot here, and I adhered the bow I had made, the double bow. I just love that. So now you have your 2 cards, the one that I made ahead of time and the other one we just made. It's a fun fold, and try that with your designer series paper. I just had one sheet, the 4x6, and I cut it to my measurements, and I just flipped it over because they coordinated so well together. And a lot of the paper does work together like that, so it makes it a lot of fun. Now, if you'd like to place an order and get this free gift from the Sale-A-Bration Brochure, just use my host code right there, and I'll also send you a thank you card, a reusable card that you can use. And before we sign off here, I want you to remember that there's a special joining offer from Stampin' Up. It's normally $99 for the starter kit, and you get to pick $125 of any product you want. And then they will also send you a whole paper pumpkin kit, and that includes the stamp set and the ink spot and all the materials to make. Okay, and now they'll also, just during the celebration period, send you 5 packs of the 6x6 inch designer series packs, and you get 200 sheets in total. You'll get it for the 4 color families and 1 of the in color families. And those are the new designer series paper coming in the new annual catalog this summer. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and think about the Stampin' Up offer of joining right now. But have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.